Good morning. This morning I want to talk to you about managing yourself through setbacks whilst in a vacuum. Now, before we get into that topic, I want to offer a few disclaimers. Firstly, I'm not really planning these conversations. I'm just talking. I'm also not an expert in this field. I'm not especially well studied in the arts of management or delegation. And I certainly haven't spent a long time creating my own philosophies of working. I simply am talking from a place of experience of some of the things that I've learned the hard way through quite a large portion of my career spent working remotely and in small teams. And in particular, I want to talk about how difficult it can be to get through a setback positively when you're on your own, particularly when you don't have much external contact. So some of us will be responsible for managing our own schedules. Others will be responsible for managing the schedules of others. And some of us simply won't have any flexibility at all. I'm sorry about that. I also want to say I'm not especially good at this. I find this very difficult myself, and as I've experienced mental health challenges over the last few years, this has been harder at times than at others. In particular, I feel this week I've worked very, very hard to achieve not a lot. Yesterday particularly seemed like a day full of setbacks, and there was a point where I had to just walk away and say, I'm gonna come back to this. But when you are on your own, it's important, I think, to be aware of the things that give you pleasure and the things that can be a chore. In particular, it's helpful, I find, to make a list of the things that need to be achieved and to separate for yourself the things that are quick wins and give instant gratification from the things that are a bit more challenging. If you... This largely comes down to personality type. I'm the kind of person that eats my chocolate bar all in one go, and I know some people that spread it out over a whole week. Might be easier if you're the kind of person that spreads it over the whole week, but if you're an initial gratification junkie like myself, you'll want all your quick wins all in a go and experience a massive high, and then you'll encounter some of your more challenging works all in a block, and it'll feel like you're falling off the edge of the planet. So separate out some of your quick wins from your more challenging tasks. Also, identify for yourself what are your most productive times of the day, and try and block those out for the challenging tasks, and then do some of your quick wins in your least productive times. Perhaps schedule some of your calls at that point. I know for myself, for a long time, the period after lunch was particularly unproductive for me. So it was helpful to schedule my day to avoid doing things like conference calls during my most productive period, where all we were doing was talking about work, to then need to sit down and try and do the work during my least productive period. The other thing I would say is try to have a list where you've established some of your goals. When you come to the end of a big challenge or when you experience a setback, it can be really difficult to recalibrate and focus on what the next thing to do. So if you've got a list, or perhaps it's even separated already into some quick wins and some more challenging things, then it's really helpful to pick up that list and say, okay, what are we doing next? In that moment when you don't necessarily have the cognitive strength to reason that for yourself in that moment of most setback or most exhaustion. But already we're at a few minutes, so I'm probably just going to stop there. Wish you all the best. If you've got any tips, please do let me know. I don't find this very easy myself, and particularly when you're all by yourself, it's more challenging than most. So good luck, stay well, stay at home, and remember to stay in touch.